one of Tifnumbu's appointees, the Dr. Stupid Service Director, gave a speech where it was pretty much like a security kind of a gathering, talking about the insecurity situation in that Nigeria, and he did say something which is pretty much true. True. However, he also somehow said something that is also not true. So what was that he said that's true? And that is, he categorically told Nigerians there that the Nigerian police, Nigerian military, they cannot protect everyone, which is true. And that is deliberate, by the way, because the reasons why the Nigerian military, the Nigerian police will not be able to protect everyone is because, number one, the entire security architecture of Nigeria is compromised, corrupt. Now, compromise and corruption, they are two demeaning, destructive, things, if you have to say. So, which means the Nigerian military, the Nigerian police would rather protect the criminals that turned Nigeria into that jungle that it is, therefore living next to nothing, right, for the protection of the people of the country. So he now suggested that you should defend yourself. Mind you, he won't be the first person to say that as a member of the ruling party as well as the government in power. Magashi, I think that's his name, Magashi, the former minister of defense under Bukwari, once also advised the people to stop being cowards. He said people should face the terrorists and fight them. So that's exactly that's the same thing that the Dr. Stupid Service, DSS, their director, is also saying. On the other hand, though, systemically, they are disarming Nigerians. They are disarming Nigerians enough that they are making Nigerians to sit duck and like cows, waiting to be slaughtered, just to wait for them. Why did I say that? We have had instances, true stories, where people actually resisted the terrorists. Indeed, they resisted them, only for the Nigerian authorities, the DSS, the police, the military, and what have you, to invade such communities and disarm them by collecting their weapons, and at the same time arrest those they consider stubborn, who are not going to listen to their instructions. So this is the reality. But the Dr. Stupid Service DSS Director Ajayi had this to say, so this is where we're going to start from.
Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, share with your friends to have access to this kind of content that you have here. Don't forget to subscribe. I love and respect you. I'll be right back.
With the CDS. This gentleman, officer and general, does not cease to amaze me. Because he did not only accept to come here, but he did so in writing. He acknowledged, and he did so in writing. He's a great team player. In all my years in service, I've never seen a team player like General Musa. Thank you very much. Thank you for all you do. And I'll tell you a story about the former US President, George Bush. He had gone to campaign in Florida for a second term. And a 10-year-old girl walked up to him and said, when I grow up, I want to be a president just like you. But she said, at this moment, tell me what a 10-year-old can do to help your administration. And President Bush said, anytime you see an American in uniform, say thank you to him. Because every day they lay down their lives for us. General Musa, please say thank you to our troops for laying down their lives for us. But as much as I like General Musa, he underrated me. I have spent 35 years in this job. But for political appointment, I should be on my way out by April. And all I've learned is covertness, how to do things covertly. So, General Musa, you made a mistake with me. When we invited you for this program to be the chairman, you now decided to go and apply for Canadian visa. So we covertly made sure we denied you. So, my dear General, next time when you hear of DSS. And under a leadership like mine, who has swag in doing the job, don't underrate us. So when you live here, you can see me, you get your Canadians. We wanted you to be here, so you couldn't have been in Vancouver. Speaking seriously about the practical approach to mobilizing to curb insecurity, I'll share experience with you when I was state director in Bauchi. Most of you will remember an incident in Azari. A group of terrorists, the Boko Haram, then had invaded Azari. They were shooting in an attempt to kidnap, and the community chased them. They killed some members of the community, but the community members killed all of them. The last guy, Khalid, climbed onto a tree and was firing. The community stood, they were resilient, and they killed Khalid. Since that day, there has not been one terrorist attack in Azari. As a matter of fact, the former head of state, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, said, and I quote, "If we want to stop or curb this terrorism, we should emulate the Azari example." Tafawa Balewa also happened to be a local government in Bauchi that was always in flames. And the people of Bogoro and some part of Tafawa Balewa, where the Sayawas are, rose up on one occasion. They knew their terrain better, climbed onto trees and mountains. And when the invaders came, they did not only repel them, they seized their weapons. And since then, you can attest to it that you hardly hear about Tafawa Balewa again. What I'm trying to say, the practical approach to mobilizing people, is that you have to get everyone involved. You do not expect the Nigerian Army, police, DSS, to protect every Nigerian or every community. It is not going to work. In the US, if you visit someone in the house, you'll be shocked that when the guy hears a police siren, he will just pull his drawer, bring out his gun and keep it. So one of my hosts did that, and I asked him, "Why are you putting gun here?" He said, "Well, if they're chasing someone and he enters my house, I'll shoot him first." And that is the layer we have to start thinking about. How can you create first line of defense? The military, police, and other security agencies are to deal with the bigger ones. With the city.
God bless that person who said that all they know is to talk and talk and talk. That's all they know, indeed. The DSS director is talking about self-defense. He's even talking about communities that warded off the Boko Haram, which means in northern part of Nigeria, by what he said, right, it seems, okay, that there are communities that are allowed to own guns for self-defense, but it is not the same in the southern part of Nigeria. In Nigeria, the only people who I think, right, have the rights or so to own guns or stockpile guns and weapons, they are politicians and they are thugs. Those are the only people that are allowed to. When it comes to individuals, if they hear say you have gun, and somehow you, for example, your community, right? Let's say you have 10 people with solid gun, AK-47 or what have you, or pump action, like, you know, like real gun, there is a tendency that the same DSS secretly, covertly, right? They will corner these guys, arrest them, and take their guns. True story. So when he's talking about self-defense, and then giving examples of those who actually pull out or put out guns, right? That is why I said that he's not being honest, and that is what they know how to do best. You would think with the insecurity in Nigeria today, right? Nigerians have, you know, the government's backing to go get their own guns. That is not true. In some instances, I mean, in some places, the government, I mean, the government of this state established their own local security to tackle this problem. But it is that same federal government that continue to stop them from, you know, carrying proper guns or proper weapons. So when they tell us to defend ourselves, I don't know, I think in my own opinion, it just seems like they are just mocking us. Because why is Nnamdi Kanu in the DSS detention? Because he set up a security outfit to tackle the same Fulani terrorists to defend themselves, but they decided to label them terrorists, while the terrorists are labeled bandits. And they are, they are very much like qualified for amnesty. Yeah, rehabilitation by the APC, the government. But once they accuse you of being an IPOB, or they say you are ESN, you probably will be dead by then, because theirs is to kill you and use that as their license to kill. So why is DSS holding on Nnamdi Kanu if they're a self-defense against these marauders, against these terrorists, is recognized by the same Dr. Stupid Service, formerly Daura Stupid Service? Here's the other part of that is jargons, by the way, just for the record.
The organized what? But it is impossible for us to deploy it to every community in the country. It is unimaginable that any security agencies has the resources to do it. So as we live here, we all belong to one community or the other. What we have to start experimenting is how we can make the community to prepare first, if the first line of defense for us. General Wahab said it clearly. And for me, there are 3 takeaways from his lecture. By the way, the General and I were guest speaker at one program in our office, so I'm not surprised that it's a dexterity. They have developed some sort of expertise in what it is. But 3 things for me. He asked us a question. What is our own culture? Our culture is communal. We do things together. Festival together. Ceremonies together. Wedding ceremony, whatever. So why can't we fight some miscreants, some charlatans among us together? The community should say, you cannot come here. This is what Tafawa Balewa has done. If you go to that community to attack them, you'll be sorry for yourself. I challenge anybody to try it. And this is the way we have to do. We have to allow some level of armament for the communities, and they can serve as the first line of defense. Second takeaway from what the general said. Whole society approach is not the first time we are hearing. But what I'm saying, the way to do it is when we live here, those of us who have some influence, the elites in society, discuss with your communities, come to us, get some sort of approval and guidance, and then we can stop discrimination. You can imagine you call sector, let's say sector 4 or whatever, sector of the army, to come to this community if there's an attack. Before they even arrive there, if they attack another community, what happens? This is what we should take away from here. And lastly, he said something very instructive. By the way, I like Osman. He knows who to give time. Have you seen him around here? He has advised himself. So don't.
Okay, just to hold him, on his words, he said they should develop a kind of like a process, right, or procedure where communities or individuals or people that need some clearance, like possibly some government-issued licenses, apart from the normal gun licenses, okay, to give you the clearance that you could own this particular gun or you could hold that particular guns and all of that. And in your community, so wherever you are under any attack, you can defend yourselves. But like somebody said, it is all talks, no action. Or it is compromised, kind of. When I say compromised, I mean it is not a one-size-fits-all kind of arrangement, okay? Because there are other factors, right? There are other factors that will make it impossible for them to allow all of us to own our own guns and defend ourselves, like he suggested. Because everybody knows why we are all asking for guns. We are all asking for guns to defend ourselves or protect ourselves from who? The Fulani terrorists. So you have the Fulani terrorists in the forest. You have the Fulani terrorist sympathizers in the cities. And you have Fulani terrorist sponsor in government. So allowing us to harm ourselves is, is practically us saying, or literally us saying that we are harming ourselves to defend ourselves against the Fulani terrorists in that contraption. So that is where the saboteurs within their Al-Qaeda People's Congress, People's Congress, APC, Ebekebe, whose interest is only to protect the interest of the murderers, the Fulani terrorists, blackmail you or gaslight you from even saying it. So they won't let us have our guns. So the DSS, the Document Stupid Service Director, right, is probably just giving a flowery speech or talk, no action. Because you see the Edo people that reacted after years of Fulani terrorism. The Edo people, not just the Edo people, but that's the recent one, who reacted after the government have pretended to be deaf and dumb for years. They are counting their losses. They are burying their loved ones. Many of them have abandoned their only source of survival, agriculture. They can't go to their farms. So if Edo people have a chance of, or if the Document Stupid Service were to actually be true to their words, their director, true to his words, right? So there's a chance that what happened in Yoruba 4 days ago will never have happened. Why? Because the Yoruba people themselves would have, they will know who they are fighting, rather than the transfer of, their transfer of aggression or what have you to these supposed travelers, okay? They will go into the forest of Yoruba, go to the forest of Esan, everywhere, and comb the entire place of this Fulani terrorists. Because the system is so broken that the people have been left on their own. They have been left to the mercy of this terrorist. If they see you with gun, DSS will be in your house before this evening. And not only that, they will take your gun away. You are likely going to be arrested. And God help you that you are not an Igbo man. If you ended up being an Igbo person, they found a gun in your house, well, God help you. So if these guys are, to be honest, for real, it is just so that, if they are being honest, it is to agree that all of us need to harm ourselves against the Fulani terrorists, the Boko Haram terrorists, ISWAP, and all of these terrorists who have their sleeper cells across Nigeria as we speak. It's like an open secret as well, that those who actually knows that there are these jihadists and their terrorism and their sleeper cells, they are recruits that are currently just waiting for a directive. Oh yeah, enter them in the southern, especially in the southwest part of Nigeria as we speak. So we are just on our own. And the director of DSS is a Yoruba man. Your president is a Yoruba man. And indeed, you currently have your own Yorubanized federal government of Nigeria, that never serves anybody's interest except the interest of the rogues who are using your own tribal card or ethnic card. Some are using religious card to have a seat at the table where they are sharing and mortgaging the destinies, the future, the lives of Nigerians and the generations yet unborn. Talking about Benin, right? I have this reaction talking about Benin and talking about guns. You see, Benin is also a place like many other states in Nigeria where you have different kind of violent cultists. I have said something similar to this on this platform in the past, right? Where I said, how could you call yourself cultists, brandishing weapons here and there, and your community or half of your people are about to relocate away from your community because of the Fulani terrorists? So what happened to this your identity? Somebody else picked that up. It's now talking to people of Benin.
If they look Benin people, they see them as my brother without anybody, but you divide yourself. If I tell Vikings, Ayes, Bogania, Tutu, make, even if say we know be one, we know they do one meeting, make all of una come together and protect your land. Una go say Ide Jones. See, whatever made me to start prophecy means that something is coming. You remember this Deborah? I have talked about her before this thing happened. Go to my video. I have talked about Deborah before when I say that. I say something about Deborah. The video is on my TikTok. Go and watch it before this incident. But if I tell Una now, make Una come. May we come together. Stop buying yourself. May we protect our land, we no go gree. May we dey use our brain. It is time to understand where all this thing is coming from. But still rest in peace for these 15 people they born. Because if action are taken when they born the brother, this thing wouldn't have happened. Because when government failed to arrest jungle justice, so many people will believe that this jungle justice is the way. But look at how people are attacking me, trying to speak peace. I did not insult nothing. I did not insult anybody. Me, myself, I be Muslim, but see threatening. So if I tell all these our people, Benin Rivers, everybody, we are be one people, they will say, Blood B, you are Johnson. You the cap. You the cap. But this thing no be cap matter. These people, they are not fighting for religion. They are coming for tribal wipeouts. The way where they respond. Omo, be wise.
Yeah, he's appealing to his fellow courtists that can you please let's use our head once. Yeah, how person go saying be courtist? They do yeah, gra here and there, but they're not born and well to even go to his village. Why? Because fulani terrorists have taken over his entire village. His own people don't go to farms anymore. Yeah, but it's everywhere. Yeah? Shouting, who goes you? Who goes you? Who you? Identify yourself. Who goes you? Where are you flying? You the capi, you the capo, as all this other nonsense and jargons that they spew. You know? Oh, here is another one. This time, it is someone who feels so disappointed that not be only that the fulani terrorists are feeling more at home, committing the atrocities in those states and underreported before this incident happened, right? It's feeling like they also have the most mummest person as governor. And he can't hide this disappointment on that. Talking about when government failed and people resort to self-help. Like what happened.
This is ODUA TV Watch. Don't forget to subscribe, comment your opinion, like, comment and share so that other people can get access to what you enjoy on our channel. Thank you. We love you.